Ideal Protein Nation, can you believe we did that to you? Oh my God. How could we break this up into 2 episodes? Well, I'll tell you how, because it was actually 2 hours of recording time that we did all the way through. And truly, I feel like everything that these ladies had to say was super important. I didn't want to rush it. I didn't want to cut things out. I wanted you to hear everything that they have to say. They are all such powerful women, and their stories, I think, are so inspiring, and you can connect to so many different parts of it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in, so to speak. See what I did there? Let's get to jump day and all of the emotion, all of the excitement, all of the fear, everything that goes into jumping out of an airplane, for crying out loud. So, jump day. You all been waiting to do that, right? Jump day. All right, it's jump day.
It is jump day. Oh my goodness. Jump day was such a whirlwind. Pun intended.
So, because here's the thing, I ain't doing it, right? So I want to feel like I did it. So start with waking up, getting out of bed that day, all of you, knowing that you're jumping out of an airplane.
Okay. You want to go first, Jess?
Who's first?
Sure, I'll go first. I mean, honestly, when I woke up in the morning, I was pumped. Everyone just kept asking, "Are you nervous? Are you nervous? Are you nervous?" And I was like, I mean, I was lying if I, I was lying if I said no.
Right.
You know, of course I was a little nervous. I called my best friend and she was panicking, and I mean, only a little bit. Super excited, but she was a little scared, right? Then my husband and I got in the car and we were off. Very just ready to go. I knew that I had a couple of groups of people coming that I was excited to see and that were going to watch the jump. And I don't know, the overwhelming feeling for me was just excitement all morning.
Yeah. And what time was the jump scheduled for?
So I believe we were scheduled to jump at 10.
10 in the morning. Okay.
10 in the morning.
Yeah. What time did you wake up?
I was up at like 7. So
yeah,
I couldn't sleep. I was.
That's what I was going to say too, right?
Yeah, I was like a little kid at Christmas time, like just that excitement, like oh my god, or first day of school, like oh okay,
right. Yeah. Absolutely. Allison, how about you?
I woke up pretty early that day. And I had to do all my rituals, like my yoga, my meditation. And I was, so leading up to this point, and we talked about this a lot, like how we stayed sane through all of it, because it was happening so fast. And it's a scary thing, right? And you can just let fear completely take over of how it's going to be, right? And so we talked about this a lot, is staying in the present moment up until we were going to jump out of the plane. Even while we were cruising, about to get to altitude, we just talked about the importance of staying in being where your feet are, is what we were calling it. And so honestly, a lot of that moment was a lot of that, which again, the parallel to Ideal Protein, like just, you can't worry about what you're going to, eat on Christmas. It's August. Right. Like you just have to worry about now, like stay in this moment. So that was another cool parallel. So I just did all the things that I do to try to stay really present in my life. And Jess didn't know this at the time, but we also had her mom fly in, and her family and her sister from Florida and her niece. And so I was dealing with logistics of that, trying to make sure that we could get them to show up at the, perfect time.
Oh my God.
So it was a very busy morning.
Yeah.
And I just remember it's a struggle, right? It's a struggle to stay present, but there's not much we can do in that future moment. And there's nothing we can do about the past. So that's where I was that morning.
I had to shuffle kids around when I got up in the morning to take them for babysitters.
Yeah, Jim had like the casual drop the kids off, go skydive, and was like,
right.
She was like,
hey,
this has to hurry up because I have to pick my kids up at 3.
I gotta go jump out of a plane.
I'm gonna go jump
Well, no, my husband's grandparents were watching my youngest, and I did not want to tell her what I was doing.
Oh, wow.
So it was a lot of kind of sneaking around. I was like, hey, I have this work event. We're doing a marketing thing.
God.
And I don't know how long it's going to take.
She's like 80-something years old.
Yeah, I know this.
And I knew that she would she's one of those people that if you tell her one of those things, she's just going to talk to death about it. And she's like, sure you want to do this? So I just didn't even mention it.
Right. Oh my God.
So it was hey, you come over, and I was out. Like as soon as they walked in the house, I was out the door.
And then you have to tell the story about the car ride.
So I'm driving down to go to the skydiving place, and I see one car, and I'm like, oh, that bumper sticker, it says, I'd rather be skydiving. And I'm like, oh my God, like I'm going skydiving right now. Like I have to take a picture of it.
Omen, right?
I have to take a picture of it. Didn't get the picture because I didn't get out my phone in time, and the car drove away. It is what it was, and I was like, okay, that was a good sign. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Couple more miles down the road, there was another car with the same bumper sticker. Completely different car. Same bumper sticker. I'd rather be skydiving, and I was like, this is going to be an amazing day.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I love this. Like all signs are pointing to yes.
Yeah.
Is where we are supposed to be at that exact moment. I mean, to see that same bumper sticker twice,
that was wild.
Seriously.
Yes, on 2 different cars.
Ridiculous. That's crazy.
We felt good about that.
My sister and my brother-in-law had a vastly different experience in the morning. My niece just kept saying, Daddy, don't jump out of a plane. I don't want you to jump out of a plane.
Oh, no.
And then right before I got on the plane, she said the same thing. And I was like, I love you, sweet girl, but please stop saying that.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
I'm going to be safe. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
That's cool because that's another whole cool thing is the kids knew that this was something that was scary and exciting for you guys because what you shared, but then you were able to show them like, look, this is how I can get past fear. And then they got to witness the whole celebration. And so even though now they might not, they might not realize that, it's huge for their little, their brains developing, especially before the age of 7, to experience that and let that be, something that they can.
No, that's so
cool.
powerful. You're right. Oh, absolutely. So amazing. All right. So we're arriving at the airfield, right? We're arriving at the place. And Jessica, you have no idea that your parents are going to be there?
No, I even talked to my mom in the morning because like I talk to my mom every day. And, she called me.
Go, Mom.
I know. She goes, you nervous? Cool. And I was like, no, yes, but no, not really. Yeah. And, I was like, she goes, okay, we'll take lots of pictures. Do you have somebody taking a video for you? Because I really want to see it. Like she's playing off the whole thing. Yeah.
No idea.
I had no idea. I mean, in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, that would be cool, but I had no expectations or anything. Because somebody usually spoils it for me, especially when it was like that big. Somebody usually spoils it for me, but nobody spoiled it. It was spectacular. And all of a sudden, my sister's already there and her car pulls up. Is that my parents?
Oh my God.
Yeah, you can see a little piece of that on the video.
Yeah, your mom.
You couldn't tell it was such a surprise, but her mom getting there, and it was just like these layers of special moments.
Oh my gosh, it was cool. Yeah, my mom and dad showed up first. And then they're trying to do an interview with me and my husband. I felt real bad because I ruined that one. But because I saw my sister. She showed up last with my niece. And Like I was
I think that's when I lost it.
I lost it too. And the
I
photographer
started-
was like, "This would be a great time to start
And we're
snapping
like,
pictures of
"Woo!"
Allison."
Yeah,
right,
we're all like
right.
ugly crying. Like, no, it's cool.
And I think that that's when the electricity really started too. Like having that
Yes.
adrenaline was really going, and everything was just we were all bouncing off of one another, and that it was so palpable to feel everything that we were feeling. We're in there and we're trying to sign the papers, the waivers to go skydiving,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I'm shaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Oh
And
my
you're just
God.
returning to that thought of like, be here signing this paper.
Yeah.
I think I even have a picture of signing the waiver. Like,
And then we're stuck with a wind delay. Throws
So,
a total screw. A total wrench into the
This
plans.
is the part of the story that just absolutely freaks me out. And again, we have no idea from that that perfect video. It looks like everything was perfect, right?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
First they put all your suits on and they strap you all up, and so you're ready.
Yeah.
And then you're already trying like to not go to the bathroom because you're so nervous, and you have all this stuff on you, and then they're like wind delay, and they can't tell you. I mean, it's not up to them. Right. So then we're just waiting. And waiting. And
oh my
waiting.
God. I can't. And that's the thing. That's the worst. You think, okay, you've got your strength up, your gumption, you're going to do this. And no, we got to wait.
Yeah. But it's a perfect opportunity to go back to the tools, right? That are going to help you. Like it's all a practice. And so it was kind of this beautiful moment, at least of the health coach in us, to be like, this is just part of life. Like sometimes you got to wait it out, but guess what? We have all these tools. We have all this power, and we're so amazing that we can wait it out. It's not a big deal. As long as I go to the bathroom real quick, it was like,
I was jumping up and down
and everything.
The anticipation,
it did really help with the centering because you just had to sit there. That's really, I mean, we had everybody to talk to and all of that, but you really just sitting with yourself and just being centered. And I think that that's what helped me on the plane be so calm once we finally got up there.
Yeah. And we had a ton of folks come out from MBS Wellness, a lot of our clients, and they were there for just two. So it was really neat because, they thought they were going to show up and it was just going to be fireworks, we're out the plane and they get to go about their day. But they stuck with us. They sat out there and got stuff out of the, we didn't have any refreshments because we thought this was going to be a fast thing, but they got their drinks out of the vending machines and they waited it out, and it really was a beautiful moment to slow down and to witness the power and the magic that Jess had cultivated. Like this moment through her just saying yes to Idle Protein July 31st or whatever it was. This moment was now happening, and then it just started this trickle effect of people being so inspired. And that brings us to Mr. Chris Burke, who is fantastic, the marketing man of Idle Protein. Love him. He has fantastic ideas and energy.
He was just amazing.
He was so amazing.
Yeah. He is just like the coolest, he's just a cool dude.
Yeah, he was pretty chill.
Right.
And
he is. He's got that.
And then you could see it though.
You could see
something stirring.
He was stirring. He was spiraling. He was walking back and forth. He's looking at us.
And I'll never forget it. It was a moment.
And we look at each other and we're like, he's gonna do it.
And he looks and he goes, he's sitting with his hands crossed like over his knees, kind of like hunched down, and he just looks up and he's like, I'm gonna do it. And then we just start celebrating and we start running around. And I mean, it is so crazy, and it was so cool to see that trickle effect of inspiration. And I talked about this, just the expansion of one person. Like that's all it takes. That's why I love this podcast so much, because we don't realize that the choices that we make are everyday choices depending on who's watching or who hears about it. There could be someone listening to this podcast who lives, in Maine, so far away from us, but it might be the inspiration that they need to change their life.
Absolutely.
And then that just goes, and I get chills talking about it because it's so small, but so powerful. So shout out to Chris Burke for doing that, because that was another perfect moment in time. And probably, guess what? If we didn't have the wind delay, we might have not had time to inspire him in that moment.
Well, and that's what I was going to say, right? So this didn't happen until during the delay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Oh my God. Oh, that's just
and he was on the second plane.
Yeah, there were two planes.
The second plane went up and had to land first.
They had a double wind delay.
a double wind delay.
Oh my God.
So they had to come back down.
And look, once you were climbing,
well,
there was something
here's
that
the
didn't
thing.
come back up.
Did anybody stop to think it's too windy of a day to do this?
We
we
shouldn't
have. We left that up to the professionals, okay?
We were not thinking that at all.
No,
we were
I
like,
wasn't anyway.
I was
like,
staying all day until I got to jump out of a plane.
Yeah, right.
Well,
right.
I was
like
not there. I was like, we need to get up there and get down back on the ground because I got to go pick my son up from preschool and get back on with my day, which is super weird, by the way. You like fall out of the sky and then you're like, oh, I'm here to pick you up preschool.
All right.
My husband and my best friend didn't get to go because of the wind delay.
So that's the other thing that we want to talk about too, right? The wind delay did have some casualties, right?
It did. Unfortunately. My husband had gone before, so he wasn't super disappointed, but he was disappointed that he could not jump with me. And my best friend as well. And I think initially we were supposed to be able to all jump at the same time, which, but then they just didn't have enough,
room
instructors for that to be a possibility. So, so, and I think it probably would have messed with my head getting all the way up and having
definitely. Most definitely.
Oh, 100%.
I think I would have just been like, okay, nope, that's a sign.
Because that is such an experience.
Mm-hmm.
The fear that arises, the physiological fear. And what that feels like. So if we can, we'll move on to us starting to climb and get into the plane.
Well, next I'm going to play the video clip of Jess jumping out. So build to that though, the fear.
So the fear it's real, but it's fake. It's real because you can feel it inside of you, right? You might feel like you're going to throw up, or you might feel lightheaded because it just takes you out of this present moment into these fictitious moments of worry.
Building it up.
And if you don't take a hold of it, your own mind, and get present, and again, be where your feet are. You're not flying out the air yet. You're just riding in a plane. And it's so funny because on our way to Super Weekend, which we ended up taking a flight the next weekend to go to Seattle, we're looking at each other, and we had some turbulence on the plane, and we're like, where's our parachute? We don't feel safe. We were much safer in the skydiving plane when we had parachutes. But you don't think of that when you're about to throw yourself out of an airplane. So
Oh my God.
Talk about I love fear, false events appearing real.
Yeah.
You gotta, the key word there is false.
Yeah.
False events. So we had a lot of that on the way up, and then doors open, and it is like popcorn out that baby.
Yeah. You have no time to think at all.
Really? Well, they have to do it that way, right?
They have to.
It has to go.
They have to, because our brains are just so strong that I think that if they would be like, all right,
who's ready? Who's first?
Who wants to do this now?
Well, and I heard somewhere too that they're like, okay, they'll count to 3, but they go on 2 because they don't want you to hold on.
I had heard that too.
3, but there was no counting involved.
There was no counting.
It was just door open, it just disappeared. Yeah. And I said, oh my God. That's
Jess
all
is
you
gone.
have time for.
Jess is gone.
You know?
Well, I tell you what, I think, Allison, that was a great intro to the clip. Let's play our
Let's
next
do
clip.
it. Let's do
Here,
it.
let's go. Wait, what's
Pow,
this?
pow, pow. Wait.
There it is.
Am I nervous about the jump? I think I would be lying if I said no. I am more excited than I am nervous. There's of course a little twinge of like, woohoo, jumping out of a plane tomorrow. This jump represents all of the things that I've told myself I couldn't do. This represents every moment I doubted myself. And I can't believe I'm doing this, but I earned this. I'm so excited.
Jump out of the plane!
Oh my gosh, I did!
I just did it! Oh, you were flying a parachute. Look at you!
Oh my gosh.
And wow, what a landing.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
I love your landing. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, the landing
Yeah.
was my favorite part is when she's like, I really did it.
Oh,
Because
Jessica.
it's just so genuine, man. Oh, I love it.
Take us through that. The guy's got his hands on the side of the door and you see him pump. He goes once and then the second time you're gone. Take us through that.
honestly, so of the whole jump, I have to say that was probably the scariest part.
You're
Was
standing in the door of
Yeah.
a plane looking out.
you know, it's loud. You're just looking like at the ground. It's insane. And then you go. And
Yeah.
I think I could have free fall forever. That part was spectacular. It was such a freeing, just,
It's like the
Whoa.
breath of God hits you.
you know,
Oh.
It's just like
Oh.
and I think,
Engulfs you. You're
Yeah.
just
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
and I think it's the release, like the finally letting go.
absolutely. And honestly, that's what it was. It was just kind of like, whoa, you know. And I everyone who had done it before, who was trying to give me advice, had told
Yeah.
me. Now, you know, what I did is I looked down, or I wasn't like in the moment, like we have been talking about this whole video. And so I really wanted to try to focus on being in the moment. And we have such an amazingly beautiful backdrop to skydive to that
Right.
it was just, it was such an exhilaratingly amazing
Oh,
experience.
it was.
It really was.
Oh my
I
God.
Yeah,
highly
that-
recommend it to everybody.
I do 100%.
I
That
do
jumping
too.
under the. Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead, Jen. I mean, go ahead.
Oh, I
Jen.
was just that initial, like, I love that part of the video because like when the music stops and it's just
Oh,
like
it's so epic.
that's how you
Yes,
feel, you know.
absolutely.
Definitely.
Well, and then you feel the parachute go, and
Yeah. Honestly, you know, they say you free fall for like 45 seconds. It didn't even feel like that long. Like all of
No,
a
I
sudden the
think it's way
parachute's
less
open.
than that.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
way less. Yeah.
But it was just like all of a sudden the parachute's open and I was like, whoa, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that was insane. And like
Yeah.
when he did ask me, you just jumped out of a plane. I was like, oh my gosh, I did. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
I could have been more genuine in that moment. Like I did.
yeah, oh my God. And you know, one of the funny things too, that I was watching the video, and I captured this picture because I love how this guy like
I know.
comes zooming by, right? Guy's got a camera on his head and he's just kind of flying right by, taking pictures, and I'm like, oh my God, like, who is this guy? Who does he belong to?
and how about that for a day job,
right?
I know, right? And
what do you think his neutrinos look like?
Oh my gosh.
And is he one of these guys who's hitting on Allison before the jump?
No.
Hey, shout out to those guys, Nantucket Studios.
They were fantastic.
They helped us get a lot of they're from the East Coast, and they were so great to work with. We had so much fun, just great guys, really good work, and they helped us with the filming the day before. And then they were also there running around, and it was hot this day.
They did a great job. Yeah, it was hot.
Great guys. So, and they were not hitting on me.
And then there's this guy, just freaking hilarious.
And like, this whole team too, Mile High Skydiving.
They were all fantastic.
You know, we had quite a good bit of people just sitting there waiting for that wind delay, and they never once told us like, y'all need to calm down, because we were a wild group. And they were fantastic as well.
Well, and I kind of pictured, Allison, did you have yoga class? We're like, okay, we've got time. Everybody spread out.
Done that. Actually, we should have. But again, I was working through changing that story. I was going through my own, you know, a little bit of, I was doing some work that day for sure. All
right. Well, you're up next. Take us through. Now you're at the door of the plane.
Yeah. So I was next, wasn't I?
Yeah.
And you guys were all in the same plane.
Yeah. Yes. And I mean, we are like so close. You have someone strapped to your back. So
sitting in everybody's lap.
Yeah. So I just gave it, I just, I trusted it. It was just one of those moments where, you don't, in that moment, I didn't have a choice. But this is the thing, you actually do, right? So I might not have felt like I had a choice, but the choice isn't in that actual action. It's up here. So I had the choice to say, like, don't fear it, you know, enjoy it. Like, let's see what's on the other side of this fear. And so that was the moment where I just let it go and trusted everything that I had been, you know, fighting for since really it almost makes me emotional. But since having that moment before I quit my last career, and saying what's next for me, you know, and it was just like a full circle to that. And I did cry in that moment because it was so beautiful. Not only like, it wasn't beautiful just in like the 5 senses of the word beautiful. It was like beautiful in the way that everything had worked out and what it just felt like to trust that much. Like, you're trusting the universe or God, whatever you want to call it, so much that you are jumping out of this airplane. And the fact that we were doing it to support someone that we had grown to love so much, and just to let a person know, like, look, I believe in you this much that I will do this with you because you're worth it. You're worth knowing that you can do whatever you want. And gosh, it was just such a moment. I wish I could honestly live in it sometimes forever. So it was just so fun. And then it, like, when the parachute hit for me, that was a little freaky, because in that first jump that I did, that's when we had the crash landing. Was once the parachute deployed, we couldn't penetrate the wind. So it was really funny. So the guy on my back in this experience, I said, hey, where are we going to land? Because the first time I did it, I landed across the highway in this ditch. So he tells me we're going to land, and he points to something like this big. I was like, as if. I didn't realize how much of a crash landing it was the first time.
I had a correct landing.
I probably wouldn't have done it. And sure enough, we land, you know, just like Jessica did. And and one after the other, and then to see Jen coming through the air. Gosh, it was cool. It was really, really cool. You have to go on the other side of fear. It's where
see what is on the other side of fear.
Definitely. You will not be disappointed.
And I had seen a video that Will Smith did, and ironically, it was about skydiving. Have you seen that?
Mm-hmm.
So Will Smith did this video, and he said, everything you want is on the other side of fear.
Totally.
And I've heard it said, everything that God wants for you is on the other side of fear. And that's where trust and faith comes in.
Definitely.
And
you need that for this journey.
So powerful. Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Jen, you're standing at the door of the plane.
Yeah, there goes Jess. There goes her sister. Whoa. There goes Allison. And I looked down. There's no door on the plane. So I'm just kind of looking over and I just see little dots in the sky.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is insane.
Yes.
I can't believe I'm doing this right now. And
then she cuts a backflip out.
Going up into the air. My instructor, as we're going up, he's like, how high do you think we are right now? And I'm like, 10,000 feet. He's like, close. We were like 12,000 feet and still climbing.
Yeah.
So to think that we were going to be dropping out of a plane like that, I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
We don't.
Oh my God.
This is what I need to do. So I think that I surrendered when I stepped foot on the plane we were all climbing on.
Yeah.
And that's why I was so calm in the plane.
Yeah.
Because I had just surrendered at that point. This is what I'm doing. And it's going to be what it's going to be at this point.
And it's so cool that you said that because it goes to show that choice. Now, if I would have surrendered, my experience, I might have not had almost puked.
Right.
So, we're here to tell you guys, you don't have to wait to surrender until you're throwing yourself out of a plane.
Yeah.
You can do it when you sign up for Idol Protein.
Well, you know what, though? That is it. That is the word we describe when we talk to our people and say, look, just surrender to the protocol. Yeah. Don't fight it. Don't try to change it. Don't try to make it your own. Just surrender to the protocol. And when you do that, amazing things happen.
Yeah,
right?
You can relax into it.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So you said, okay, here we go. And I'm out the plane.
Right, here we go. So yeah, we get up to the plane. And like I said, I thought he was going to count. And I think that's what my brain was waiting for, was for the one.
That's
and then
perfect.
it never happened. And we were just out the door.
That's
and
perfect.
You just feel the wind hit your face. And my first thought was, oh, it's really cold.
It was chilly.
Okay.
And then,
okay.
As you're going down and you're free falling, you have a million thoughts going through your head. But one was that I had to remind myself to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Breathe. It's, catch your breath, breathe. And then once I did that, it was like you were just floating in the air.
Yeah.
And you're looking down. And that's when it was like, okay, I think that I could live in this space right now for a while. And then that's when that parachute goes up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was pretty amazing. The guy was like, I can't, this is insane.
Yeah.
Just how fast you
That's all you
drop
can
down.
say. That's all you can say.
It's all you can say. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all you can say. So the parachute goes up and then you're just floating.
Yeah.
You're just floating and you're looking at the scenery. The guy asked me, he's like, where do you live? I actually live in Golden, Colorado. So he's like, oh, those are those mountains way over there. And I'm
Oh my God. Oh, that's so cool. Well, again, what a
cool.
backdrop you guys had to do this.
It's
Colorado is so absolutely gorgeous. And I was just thinking that the other day. I'm like, oh my God, they did this in Colorado. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And we got this picture of you all. So this picture is afterwards where you're all standing arm in arm, right?
Yeah. We just
What's
came
that
in
like?
one at a time.
Yep, we did. Tori was
so
the first one to jump and last one to land.
Oh, yeah, she was.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So well, what's that feel like? You accomplished it. Your feet are on the ground and you're all back together again.
We all basically just jumped into hugs the whole time. Just
oh my gosh, we did it. Your feet are kind of noodly too at this point.
Oh, I bet.
You have so much adrenaline going through you.
Yeah.
And I just remember being so proud of Jess in this moment and so proud of us too. And just so happy to be a part of the day and to have focused on the follow through.
Yeah.
Like in that moment, it was like when we were embracing each other, it was just this moment of pride, I think, for all of us, that we were just like, what's next? That's also what's going through your head.
That was one thing.
Because we were like, should we do it again? Dead serious. We were dead serious. Like, should we just do it one more time?
Can we go back up?
Now that we're not scared.
Now that initial fear is over, let's do that.
Yeah, right. Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So awesome. So how long did that feeling last? Like, how long did the feeling of, oh my God, we did that, just stay bubbling inside of you?
I think we can still tap into it. You know,
it was going strong for a couple of days.
I still get waves of it when people ask me, like, how was that? I'm like,
yeah,
right.
Because it's something that we create. Yeah, the experience created it, but to some level, we all created that feeling of pride inside of us. And so you have access to it whenever you want, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's the practice of remembering how that felt that day, especially when we're faced with challenges that, you know, it's easy to forget that feeling. And so I've done that a couple times since, is like putting myself in that moment and saying like, of course I can do this. Of course I can do the dishes.
I jumped out of a plane.
Interesting application, but I get it, right?
Okay.
Well, and it's something that nobody can take away from you, right?
Bingo,
I mean,
for sure.
You did that. It is in the history books. It is actually been very well documented, and nobody can take that away from you. And that's just something that is yours forever. I just think that's so cool. So I guess what I didn't understand too was the timing of all of this. So you did this one weekend, and then Seattle was the very next weekend?
Yeah.
Wow. So
that beautiful video they did in 4 days.
Yeah.
Look at you ladies. You clean up well after jumping.
You're so cute.
Yeah,
we're not such a hot mess after all.
Exactly. Look at you guys.
Yeah, that was a great trip. And that was my first super weekend, Jess's first super weekend. And then believe it or not, 10 years in the same city for Jen.
That's crazy. That's the thing when she said that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It is a full circle moment, right?
Yeah.
God, that gives me chills.
Yeah.
Totally gives me chills.
It was so great.
I went in not knowing what the heck I was getting myself into. 10 years later, I am a clinic owner.
Yeah, we did. Not only you're a famous clinic owner and all-star coach. Oh my God.
Such a great coach. Yeah.
And so then tell us about this. So there you are on the day of Super Weekend when you're presenting and they're premiering the video.
Yeah, they premiered it.
So literally they filmed it one weekend. They filmed it one weekend and they mixed it, did the whole 9 yards, had it ready to go and premiere it Super Weekend.
I was approached many times at Super Weekend saying that there was not a dry eye in that crowd.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
That video.
Yes.
We actually didn't even see the video until we landed in Seattle. And they were still working on it. And then Lou sent a message and said, hey, I have the first take of it. This guy's been working his tail off and, you know, some things might change on it, but like, this is what we have. And so we're all sitting in the hotel room with Val, our CEM, who's fantastic.
On a little phone.
We're watching on a little phone, all crying.
Yeah, right. I can't even believe they previewed it for you like that. So when one of the biggest Super Weekends I went to was when Tuni Raffaele had his premiere of his amazing transformation. Ideal Protein is really big on surprises and things. Lynn, my amazing transformation, our client from our clinic, Lynn Roos, hers had been going now for a couple of months and they were flying her all around the country. And she kept saying, you know, I wish Dr. Barnes were here. I wish Dr. Barnes were here. Well, they called me and they said, hey, would you like to surprise her in Dallas? And it was super cool. And so literally I flew in that morning before the Saturday and they played her amazing transformation to open the weekend. And then afterwards, they said, and you know what? We've got a surprise for you. And they brought me out. So that was a super crazy moment. And Ideal Protein just loves doing that stuff. And that's why you love being a part of this whole experience.
Definitely.
But then Tooney's premiere of his video ended the weekend. And
cool.
he had not seen it yet.
Oh my gosh.
And so talk about not a dry eye in the house. I mean, we were all just sitting there, and he was up on stage with his coach, and they're premiering the video, and like everybody is sobbing in the whole room. So I can see that when you guys are in there, and when that person said to you, Jessica, there was not a dry eye in the house. This is why we do what we do.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Right?
I learned.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jessica.
I learned at Super Weekend. I mean, my coaches, there's no doubt that this is what they were meant to do. But at Super Weekend, the passion behind Ideal Protein is inspiring in itself. It was just kind of this is what, these people love what they do. They love this program. And they're, I don't know. That was the coolest part.
Yeah, that was really neat for you to see, for sure.
Yeah.
And us too, because you have all these brilliant, smart people who are talking about all the science of it, and then it's just like Dawn said on the last show, and then there's that humanity piece.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to get frustrated and separate those. But what happens when they are together, it really can change the world. And it felt so good to be part of that.
Feels good
and the center of this.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing. And I love Dawn, by the way.
She's fantastic.
Right. You know what? We can't give enough shouts out to Dawn, right?
Yeah.
And that was the cool thing during her show that we talked about this and just that feeling you get. And when you meet all of the superstars in Ideal Protein, that's who they are. They love science and they love humanity. And when you put those two things together, you get the magic that is the company, the coaches, the clinic owners, and the clients of Ideal Protein.
Yeah, it was really cool to see that on the macro level that we hadn't. I had never experienced not going to a Super Weekend because all day we see it at that micro level, which is so important. Without the micro level, there isn't the macro. But to see them both, we knew we had made the right decision to start MBS Wellness.
Seriously, that's the thing, right?
Definitely.
Here your ladies are at the Super Weekend with this whole experience and thinking to yourselves, oh my God, we did this. We have our own clinic.
And it's pretty much brand new clinic owners. And then you see these other larger clinics that have been doing this for 10 years. And you think about all the Jessicas that they've met and helped. And then all of those clients' families. And it is really a dream job.
It really is.
Talk
about the best job in the world.
Right.
I love coming to work. I mean, and I'm not.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time.
It is our safe space.
Yeah.
When it's your passion, it's not a job, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the thing. How many Jessicas are there out there? Ideal Protein Nation. How many Jessicas are there? And who needs to be on the show?
Please.
Who needs to be on the show next? That's why I created this show, right? Because Dr. Tran said it best. Dr. Tran, who created the protocol. Every pound has a story, and that story needs to be told, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think this is also a great time to do our third clip. So I got a third clip here. Let's listen to this one, ladies. Yeah, right.
What I would say to my coaches who have been there every step of this process is thank you. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for always cheering me on. And thank you for your continued support.
All right. All right. Who's not crying? I
know. I cry every time.
I cry every time.
Every time.
Can't help it.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
pretty
and
amazing, Jess.
So amazing.
and here's the thing. When Jessica and I had our one-on-one interview, and she was talking about her relationship with you guys and how you guys run the clinic and are with the clients. Jessica, I'm gonna let you tell them what you told me.
Well, I told him that you make me feel like I'm your only client every time.
And I can't even imagine a higher compliment to pay a coach, right? And it made me think about, oh my God, I got to up my game. Like that's like, no, seriously, like that's kind of a feeling or a thought that should go through a coach's head is, make every client that walks in your room feel like they're the only one that you've got.
Yeah. And
I thought that was so amazing.
important.
That's the recipe though. And that, I'd never thought about that until now, but if you do that, you will be so successful with the trust that you're able to build with people.
Yeah. Just the connection.
And even that breakthrough with them realizing their potential and their worth.
Yep.
It's through, to circle back to that humanity piece, it's through that connection. So we're really glad, Jess, that we do make you feel that way. Yeah, that's how we hope every client feels.
So we're going to have to bring this plane in for a landing. And
all right. Should we
jump
ship? 1, 2, everyone just...
No. What's next for the Three Musketeers? And
I'm in training to be an IP coach because I can't picture my life doing anything else. My mom always said I'd change the world, and I think this is how I can do it.
Oh my God.
Totally.
Oh my God. Yes, I love this. I absolutely love the thought now of the three of you in that office together. And you've already probably started changing the world for sure, Jessica.
Definitely,
and the three of you. But now I just, and I'm going to name this episode, "The Sky is Not the Limit."
No,
especially for you three. Yeah. Super excited about that. Wow. All right. Well, if you are in Colorado, anywhere in the state, you need to go to MBS Wellness.
Yeah, come say hello, please.
Right.
Our door is always open and we welcome everybody.
Yeah, and we'd love to talk about, what you think is not possible, and see, why don't you challenge us to change your mind? We would actually love that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Right?
Seriously, that is so awesome. All right, ladies, any parting thoughts, any last minute ideas you wanted to get across? I think we covered all of them.
I do too. I think we covered it all. We do want to just thank you though, John, because this community is so important, as you heard through, Jessica's story. It's so important. And there's so many of us on this journey, either as coaches or clients or clinic owners, or maybe we go back and forth between some of those roles as well. And you have created this platform for people to really share their stories and connect. And it's so important for us to lean on one another so that, we don't all have to, make the same mistakes or learn the same lessons. We can use each other as guides. And so we are just really, really grateful that you chose us to come on and talk to you today and share this story. And then the last thing I want to say is encourage people to share their stories, because we all have so much power and we all have a very unique story, and you just never know what part of your story could connect with someone else and really help change their life. So thank you for allowing us to do this with this story.
Yeah. You know what? It is my pleasure. As you know, it wasn't really my idea.
I know it was mine.
was all part of the master plan.
Master plan.
I was like, we have to get that John guy involved somehow.
I found
And then
out
we started
later on.
planting little seeds.
Yes. Well, and like I told you, when I got the email from my CEM, from your CEM, that you wanted to be on the show, I was like, oh my God, I was just going to start trying to figure out how I can get in touch with them, because I knew I had to have you guys on the show to find out all of the story behind what just happened. So
yeah. And that's another great point you bring up. Our CEMs, these wonderful people who work for Idle Protein, like they're such an amazing resource. If you don't see yours often, like reach out, because ours is Val, and she always has the best advice, or she just it's fantastic to have that support, and we're really grateful for her as well.
Absolutely. I can't believe I haven't met Val yet. Val, we gotta meet. I hear you're amazing. Yeah.
We'll all have to end up in DC or something soon.
Or San Antonio's coming up.
Oh,
San Antonio
see you there.
Yes.
Definitely on the bucket list for sure.
Yes.
Maybe we'll fly to San Antonio, and then like that'll be our entrance. We'll just skydive into the Marriott.
Yes.
Ideal Protein, Chris Burke. If you guys are listening or watching, I think we've got a great way to start. Deb, it's Deb's baby down there. So Deb Buchanan, I think this is the way you open.
Deb. We love
this
you.
is the way you open Super Weekend in San Antonio. Yeah.
No, that would be fun.
All right, ladies. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to drop you guys backstage. Don't go anywhere. Oh my God. I feel like I jumped out of a plane. And that was what I wanted to get across. What an absolutely amazing show. I think it was everything that hopefully all of us wanted the show to be for you as we were working on it. This most likely will have been 2 shows now that we've finished recording. So either way, I'm glad if you're listening to me now, you made it all the way through to the end, because there were so many gems and pearls that were dropped at the end. You have to catch every one of them. So I am out of here. And as always, please like, subscribe, share the Life Possible podcast with your friends and family. Please download us on all of your audio platforms. The numbers are rising, and we're going to reach critical mass pretty soon. Joe Rogan, watch out. I'm coming for you.